The rest of G2 who you can look to as well.
Yeah, and B&E, in my mind, and have been in the past, giant killers. These guys do not flinch.
Saw what they did to FaZe.
Yeah, they don't flinch at the name. You know, name value's not going to get you anywhere with B&E. They've got their game, and they're ready to play it. And see how much fun they can have, as we do see G2 immediately dispatch 4 players towards the B start of the map.
Yeah, and Hunter's also been able to get his way out middle here, so he's donated some utility. He'll be on the lurk, the B execute with the util coming through, and here they go.
Yeah, Scenarii. Perfect shot into JKS, and still Nico, despite the flash, finds Scenarii back. Cave to be cleared. Honestly considering it, and Rigon, oh my god, he's running out. Oh, he gets another as well. Nico was too busy on the plant, couldn't get his gun out in time, and now they can swarm it. Flank, sure, maybe, but that requires HooXi to stay alive. Hunter, he can't even touch it, can't even stop it. They're on the defuse, and it will be just a lovely putt in from Flatro. As that is one way to handle it. Rigon, I think the first was great onto m0NESY, but he manages to win the round off of that hunt onto Nico, and look at the motivation that's already injected into B&E.
Yeah, this is great from Scenarii. They're turning the flash, coming on in. JKS actually blind up there by HooXi, and you bang on. Rigon here. It's crazy for him to go for that play, considering the rotation was still coming through from his teammates, but a massive one. And Devilwalk, I think he's in the conversation. Best mustache at the moment, him and Gary, the two of them. Going to be having a mustache off, I think is the official terminology. You got the odds on your screen here favoring G2. You can understand why. And with that plant, it will cobble together a buy here. So 2 Galils, an AK, some Tech-9, some util, and Extinguish towards mid. And pressure will be towards A. HooXi have actually found out here. Nade in the hand, a sketchy spray, and Rigon cannot be successful, just like the pistol. That's huge from HooXi.
Hold on, yeah, there could be more as well. HooXi onto Synopsy, gets him low, 25 HP, spotted him, knows it, and finishes it off. HooXi does so much with this one for G2. And it's only going to get worse for HooXi now, but mid loss, bomb down.
Look where Hunter is.
Theirs.
They're already so entrenched in CT spawn. It's 3 through Donut on the retake.
Yeah, this is going to be really uncomfortable for Bad News Eagles. Just immediately put under question. You win the pistol, but G2, they have got this one in their sights, even an AK on Nico.
There's no getting out of this.
You gotta go for it. Your Flatro's having a look. It's just gonna be a trap, and that's a good way out. Scenarii. Oh god, GXX not lucky at all. Scenarii is. He gets away with 3 HP.
Only just, huh? Gets to hold on to the M4. At least they get something. But the Giga Chad HooXi with an entry and then some. And he was there just to sell the presence. His entire job on B lane was to make sure they couldn't just push out Cave, and he gets 2 kills for his troubles. Wow. That is going to be an easy second round for G2 to pick up, and you can thank this man right here.
Yeah, Rigon, you can see he kind of lost him in that black smoke of the HE. And just completely stone-faced, like dead silent upon the receiver. Like you just won the second round force, guys.
Yeah. Here to do a job, apparently. A little bit like what we heard earlier in the interview. I'm just trying to think who gave the interview. Oh, Yakinda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, well, we haven't won yet.
So
we're not through yet. Yeah, it was a good game, but we just dumpstered Na'Vi, sure, but we've still got to qualify.
Oh, man. Stop reminding me of how much good Counter-Strike we've got to look forward to as well. These teams finding form. This is the first day of the Legends stage. We've had some surprises, sure. We've had some favorites looking like favorites. Na'Vi were unable to convert.
They need to be careful here. The bomb is on Hunter at the back of the pack. He can't overcommit because there is a bit of a lean as they walk on out. Scenarii doing a bit of talking there, and m0NESY will deal with them. They're in, but the response time will be quick from Bad News Eagles.
Yeah, but what are you doing? Tech-9, 5-7, Deagle. It's just a smorgasbord of pistols you can throw into the mix.
I do like a lot of the details here. So the fact that they have this deeper donut smoke is great.
Ooh, nearly found Rigon through it. And Hunter's, yeah, he's ready for everything. Multiple fronts. They are losing health fast. Hold on, hold your horses. It's up to m0NESY. They got a smoke on the bomb as well. He's careful with the flashes. It's a 10-second defuse, but they are holding it. They are holding it. Oh, m0NESY, one more bullet. He has to reload. 2 seconds. One more bullet. 10-second defuse right under G2's nose. And that gets the juices flowing right back in the other direction.
I didn't believe until the last moment that was going to happen. Just peppered away out through the smoke. He sticks to it. He doesn't stop defusing.
You can see m0NESY, he did the spray, brought him low, had 1 bullet, and just, you can see this cursory shot like this, and then
drawn off it. There's so many bodies. And he's just sticking the 10-second defuse.
No way that happened.
Robbery right there. Hey, there's a clear juxtaposition between the reactions after snatching back around, isn't there?
Huh? All right.
I was just talking about how good it looks. Deep donut smoke.
Yeah,
They waltz in the side. They take down the rifle.
Rigon has gone for an all-in here. I want to make it clear. He can't move his barrel. He has to just stare at this box and catch the timing he sees fit.
Weird.
Oh, goes both ways. Rigon does only get the one, and G2 have got access to the site now. JKS has ensured it. Oh, GXX, he did have an option. He did have an opportunity, rather. But there's G2 straight back into the A side. This is like they're a knee-jerk punish. That's 2 for 2 now when they've lost the previous.
And 3 consecutive rounds of going A. So pistol round was the B play from G2. The rest of the action has been towards this A bomb side, and apparently that's enough for Bad News Eagles. You can understand that GXX push, right? He gets given a decision. I can scrim through this smoke and try and catch them off guard, or I can sit back and they can fortify site control. So wanting to take the risk while the chips are still down for both teams, right? It's not full buys. People are just throwing together what they can in this early game. The finances haven't been established here. All right, well, how long will this continue for? I'd say at least another round longer, considering these 2 saved guns, an MP9 and an A1S.
These are the starts you're looking for if you want action, and action continues on the B stream. You can see, look how close this one's going.
Minio, in-game leader.
Gamer Legion. Every single round of play, as you can see, Minio doesn't quite pull it across the line. My goodness, yeah, keep tabs on that one. You can find it all on blast.tv. And we set our sights back on our 5th round of play here. Bad News Eagles G2. Ancient. Perfect battlefield to separate these 2 teams. Because it looks like we are going to deviate from that A hit. At least initially. Hunter. Ooh, he could have gone down, lost his vision, but hasn't lost his life. Off the reflash, Nico and Hunter combine the Kovac double. One to be feared, as both of them deliver. And now the rest should fall into place, right? It's just Saneri and MP9.
Who's got a nade in hand?
It's a nade out. Synopsy and Saneri, they strike in unison on 2 different fronts. Rotation is through. Bomb was spotted in Saneri. He's going looking for more as he gets Monacy. Oh God, G2, they're losing grip of this round.
There. They know both there, surely, right?
Yeah, and no time for like housekeeping on the guns. Nico, he's got that headshot angle. Oh, Nico's in a sweet spot for it. Does convert. Saneri to make it a 1v1. That's the bomb. And Nico not ready. Oh, he doesn't finish it. The smoke obscures his view from behind. Sure, Nico needs to place the angles right. Survival integral as he does get away from the immediate threat. And JKS has got the angle to contain. JKS making
That's
noise.
heard. Saneri's heard that. So he knows where JKS is and knew where Nico was. So if he flanks a main, oh no, Donut is probably the better play here. He could be disruptive. JKS is worried about Saneri's rotation.
Diligent.
This is going to come down to the time here. Like JKS isn't covering off towards Donut, so Nico needs to plant wide. He will get it down. And now the 2-on-1 established.
Yeah, but they don't know where he's coming from just yet. Nico's likely going to be responsible given JKS just tucked in on that CT corner. Nico spotted out now. Smoke on the bomb and a headshot from JKS. Well, that is a recovery. Considering how much impact Saneri had on that isolated B bomb site, Synopsy as well, catching Hunter. And we ended up having quite the round there, but Bad News Eagles will concede, and that's the first time a team has found 2 in a row.
Yeah, these two, the Synopsy and Saneri kills came way too easy, didn't they? It became very, very sketchy for G2. So not together, getting forced on fights, but they will convert. And tempered in the G2 camp, as we do see 2 flashes and a smoke to work with here. Synopsy staying in CT spawn, the rest of his teammates dispatched over towards B. Now Synopsy from that position can throw flashes to assist, right? If they do go into the site, you can throw flashes from spawn, they can land behind them, they can try and peek off the back of them. Rigon has a smoke, I'm sure there's a divine plan for that one as well, but Hunter has so much space already. He's already out mid in towards Donut. A minute 20 left on the clock. JKS and Monacy clearing out a main.
But it does seem like G2 are trying to focus on A, much more than we've seen most teams on their T side.
It might open, and this is the thing with conditioning, right? There's different patterns. This is what we talk about with game plan. What area of the map do you want to try and target early, right? And if they're able to do it with A, because we'll stick with Hooksy for a second here.
Yeah, hold on. It's perfect, because you see Nico, and you know the presence case, so you've got confirmation. It's fully stacked. Oh, well, that's a gift, isn't it? $1,200 and a double kill. So everything's working out, Hooksy Dory.
Flashes didn't help at all, did they?
No, it hasn't worked out wonderfully.
Good idea.
But I mean, in terms of like a kind of a anti-eco, you just have a perfect strategy where you have to acknowledge there's a MAC-10 coming and gunning for you. And it handles very nicely. 4 already for G2.
But if G2 are hoping for conditioning over towards A to make sure that Bad News Eagles always start at least one player there, it softens up the mid and the B defenses, right? So this is going to be interesting to see how G2 play forward now. What is their first...
right.
Well, I guess we've had gun rounds up until this point, but this is the first time AWPs are out for both teams.
Okay, and Monacy's been tasked with getting red smoked. As we do see a bit of a 3-man lean B. Hooksy very loud. Very loud. Whoa! Whoa, he's been seen. That's going to force a rotate short. But there's still 2 cave side. Is Nico ready? Flatro, he's ready for head-to-head duel. It's AKBM4. Nico executes in a second as well for good measure. Only one could possibly stand in their way now, and he's about to get smoked off. Safe from the flash, looking for that cave fight. Molly will force him away. Great util. An even better final result. As you can see, every util has connected nades, flashes, smokes in the right time. The Molly perfect. GXX, oh my god, another perfect flash. It's JKS that sets them up, and it's Nico that knocks them down. An ace for the legend stage. Nico lays down the law.
Wow, that is huge stuff right there. Tidy shooting. And we were just talking about the macro point of the game, right, in terms of the strategy and the flow. That second smoke that Monacy threw from spawn was for A, for like an instant A play. So it was like a little, like, lined up, jump throw smoke to help them sell an A fake, which was conditioned earlier on in these rounds. So of course they're going to bite down hard. G2 have already shown that that is a factor in the map that they want to try and exploit here. And Devil Walk, he ain't happy with that, trying to whir them into action here. The coach with a lot to say.
Oh yeah, I mean that's going to feel really good for Hooksy. You know, I'm sure you are as well, putting yourself in his shoes and you knowing, wow, we've been hitting A so successfully, and then you've also, admittedly, you can count on Nico. Nice to have a teammate like him.
This is the second ace
flash
of the legend stage.
Right,
so
who has the other one?
Saneri.
Well, what would you know?
Yeah, so that's on the other side of the server in match number 1. That's a nice one there from Nico. Very precise shooting from him.
Yeah, they can take that. They can run with that, and that smells and spells 6. Unless this Flatro push from that 7 does take down Nico and Hooksy on the mouse wheel. Suddenly, I'm not so sure. That's 2, great. It's still not ideal when you've only got yourself a Kevlar vest and a couple of Deegs.
Well, JKS is about to be put on notice. Yeah, Synopsy called this immediately off of that Flatro double. So really good impact from Flatro right now. That reloaded JKS needs to be careful. He's about to have a whole lot of pressure here. Now, is he ready for 1 on the A push? Sure. 2's a different comp.
Conversation, and yeah, JKS is considering it.
Well, here they come. It's on a timing.
Well, is he ready for both? He seems so. Just waiting. Synopsy the successful bait, and that is an execution of the Aussie. Flatro, he started it. He intends to finish as Monacy's gone 2. All Hunter, a 1-on-3. Made 2. Timed. Certainly not in any rush to get that bomb down. Fakes it out, hoping for a push, hoping for info. Synopsy's on the flank, and Hunter slinks through the smoke. They've lost him. They're looking for him. GX not going to be spotted as he's tucked in short side, and that's the headshot! Okay, BNE responding kind. Sure, G2, you can have 1, but we can 2, a 3rd. Inscribed next to BNE's name, and it's off the back of Flatro.
Yeah, beautiful double here from Flatro, isn't it? 5-7. packs a punch, especially at a range like this. And this, yeah, I mentioned Jake has to be ready for one, but to be ready for two, especially on that time delay, just so annoying from Synopsy there.
He considered it, didn't he? Like, he had a look.
And this is the thing, that would get off the back of the timeout where Devil like, oh boys, let's get something going here. The firepower of BNE is never up for question. We know that they can throw hands. We know that they can hold that mouse and get those shots done, and that is great work from them.
4 CTs on a full buy, starting and aggressing towards B. This is BNE. And A is open for business. And in stark contrast, they went for all their eggs towards that B basket, but at least they got the info quickly because they're here. They will be here.
They think Rigon's pushed this smoke. They have to know it's possible. Maybe it won't matter. Oh, yeah, it will.
Huge from Rigon. And they can't control him. He gets a second onto Hooksy. 2 rounds back to back as they build another.
They had a free sight. They overlooked it. They didn't find anybody home. They went searching. This is all going to be on Monacy and Nico now. Oh!
Hold on. Monacy's happening. Another onto Synopsy. I think they had their head in hands, but now looking through their fingers, G2 could perhaps count on these two. CSGO, and its most precise weapon in Nico, and his young protege in Monacy. Looking to close out a huge disadvantage. 3 already from Monacy's AWP. Nico responsible for this clear. That is a must clear. He's got Monacy posted up donut for this. Up against Flatro, Soneri is working donut. It's going to come down to timings. It's going to come down to the execution. Headshot needed and provided. And Nico and Monacy, one more click away. Nico lucky to get away from the spray. Monacy lets it go, but Nico does not. And it's 6, found by recovery. Those two put their heads together and they solve the mystery.
Okay, well, Monacy does really recover that round.
Look at this. So the first was nice. The rest is just naughty.
But look how deep they're in the site. Like, they completely forgot that that was even a possibility. They threw a deep CT smoke, and what happened was because they waltzed in, I have no idea what happened there.
Well, we'll see it from his POV. He just gave him a little bit of that.
Where's the smoke icon, mate?
I mean, I guess he worked out that the guy was boosting on something.
Yeah, but still, that's crazy. And the bigger problem I have is G2 overlooking that as even being... Oh!
Okay, Monacy's definitely...
Look at this Bad News Eagles buy. Double AWP.
Ooh.
Double AWP Bammers pistols.
Ooh. Over to Chad Burke. Oh, with the analysis.
Now, this is Counter-Strike.
Hooksy, probably surprised to be seeing that one so soon in the feed. GXX.
He's in the foreground all the time with this match so far, isn't he, Hooksy? Seems to be first man in.
Yep. First one out.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, to be fair, you know, Monacy, he did tag up Rigon. It didn't quite find the 100 damage required.
We'll let everybody know the final match of the day on that secondary stream is looking like it's going to get underway. FaZe up for game number 2 of the Legends stage. Now, G2 are the type of team who will take these round losses poorly. And they've already had a few, so let's see if Bad News Eagles can rub the salt in the wound and do it yet again. Bit of a parting gift.
Both the AWPs are A, Chad. Synopsy and GXX are both A. They just have to get through. Yeah, boost! Okay, good catch. Monacy, he adjusted to that at the drop of a hat. And now the bomb can go down uncontested.
Now, I love the Bad News Eagles crazy plays, but double AWP retake on the B bomb side, probably not the go, and especially not now. Grab that if you can, Rigon, and get out.
Ooh.
He can't get out.
If he can. Monacy does his blind spot, and so Rigon's D can for 1. JKS willing to take that engagement, albeit risky. And GXX is still going. Okay, 1v2. On the York, misses the no-scope, but now will fall into place for a 7. He's not getting out of this one. A leg shot and chased on down, and yeah, a tut of the tongue perhaps. But BNE, they will always do it their way. This started so well. It started so well, and then this catch from Monacy really limited and muted their chances for a retake.
Yeah, like I like the fact that they're willing to take these type of risks, and I love the ideas they have around it. Always something creative from Bad News Eagles there. I can't believe JKS also took the fight against Rigon's Deagle again like that, because these type of players, when they get on that heater, they're going to hit the zingers. Like Rigon after the first, you almost favor him for the second there.
No surprises, Chad, but Hooksy's called it again. He wants to test this ace site, and Rigon is immediately put down. did not let go of W, but that is Synopsy hitting a banger in pursuit of the same. Oh, angle from Flatro. Punishing. Should be finished off, and now it's happening again. BNE, the constant thorn in G2's side. No moment. Oh, great tap. Last bullet into the one-on-one. This is Counter-Strike right now. It's JKS just saves them. I can't quite believe the rounds we're seeing,
It's
man.
high octane. It's high octane, and there's always some investment. Like, there was a rifle that just came in from Bad News Eagles. The loss bonus is built, sure, but the pressure, it is on.
Bro, this is a best of one. I reckon G2 are going to be exhausted after this one.
You have to expect the fights to constantly be coming your way. You jump in the server with Bad News Eagles, you know you're going to stand and slog. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, I mean, name value means nothing to the Eagles. But 8, that does mean something to them.
Sure, the scoreline starting
Yeah.
to look quite drastic now, and the fact that there's no rounds consecutive here, mid-biff. Oh, again, Monacy's finding that challenger stage form.
Yeah, this is his legend stage. He's ascending. He's comfortable. And against players that, you know, they're laying down a different flavor. Doesn't seem to phase him. He's still playing his timings, playing his role to a T.
The way that the early game was called from G2, right? It did have back and forth with the force. Hold up a second. We'll save the macro because we might have a fight right now. GXX, he's found...
Yeah.
Felt like a gap, didn't it?
Did, but Monacy was going to punish you if he gets that info for free.
Yeah, Nico would have relayed that scope. Walking again.
Okay, let's one go, and that's a warning shot. Flatro. Oh, some nade damage. Compounding, but Monacy continues to hit shots. It's Scenario had to go straight into the scope. And you really, I mean, Monacy does feel like someone at the moment that you just can't, you can't expect him to miss. You have to play around that AWP. He's so good. Well, as soon as you put the Zoom banger in his hands, he will punish time after time. Sure, he can rifle, but get him on that AWP, and he comes alive.
Fletcher needs so much here. So much.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, well, the steam now starting to alleviate slightly. So whether the Storm have G2 in a lot of these chaotic rounds, which there have been a few that are touch and go, but now we're talking about 2 spreads of 4-round conversions. And, oh, take it all away. You remove this from Rigon. You send them down to a partial buy in the next. You'll get yourself 9 in total, and the hunt is on. Hunter springing to life here. Nico covering off the temple while all this happens, and the footsteps, well, it's enough to know when Rigon needs to activate. He's pinned and he's down as Nico up to 17 kills. We're talking about Monacy. Nico with that ace, his aim looking good, having a good showing of things. And this was the opener, so happy to brave the flames. Catches Synopsy just in the opener, and wow, that was quick, wasn't it? See it from both perspectives here, just understanding how those duels go down. Taking it out of the game, it really just adds that extra layer. Love to see it.
Through that obscured HE smoke, Flash still places it perfectly, and yeah, Nico definitely is on one. 17 and 5. I think his goals are far beyond that of beating BNE.
Well, second timeout here, called by Devil Walk, and another one of these rounds that are going to come with a few choice pistols. But these have been a few of the more exciting rounds, so don't look away. This is not the time in this matchup to think you have a break. This is the time to focus on in. You see Nico at the top of the pops there, 125 ADR. Charging away with this.
Ooh, okay, a couple of extra pennies spent right upon leaving spawn there for BNE. They want it to be threatening, and Hooksy wants Donut immediately. He's gotten away with it once. This time a little bit more utility involved in the process, but he has got Donut control. Rigon and Synopsy, the 8 effects for Nico. He can trust in him to hold as they try and get answers, but they only get headshots handed their way. A triple. Hooksy confirms presence on A, and they don't need to commit the bomb just yet. Rigon's obviously going to be nervous about B. It's wide open with no answers and a deep smoke. Yeah, Rigon looks for more.
Go either side. I don't think it matters at this point.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like,
that was huge. Like Nico just aim mapping there. Essentially what he's doing. Just tap, tap, tap it in.
but most players, you know, when you've made it clear that, hey, we're going to be going majority mid, A.
Bit more passive.
Could you just make sure they don't push for info B?
Yeah, you sit at the doors.
He just stands in the middle of lane and says, come and get me. Come and get me. There was flashes. There was attempts to try and silence him. You just can't curtail Nico. It's 4. Get out. Look at him standing in the center saying, yeah, more? Anyone? Oh, headshot angle? Give it to me. Oh, get owned.
You saw a little bit of everything there, right? So
Tap
obviously,
spray.
exactly. So a masterful show there. I know it's against the lower buy, but still always good to see that on display. I think now or in the next round of play, maybe we see G2 return to A because they've done a great job of exploiting that in the early stages, and the residue of that definitely has its remnants for Bad News Eagles. You're up?
Yeah, my chair's misbehaving. I'm fine.
All right. Well, here he is again. Scenario without a flash, you can't go anywhere, my friend. So.
Nico's just walking on in. This is a hard clear. Did look away. Overlooked Scenari and Flatro as well. JKS just won. It's Flatro that holds on. Molly's cool. Frag would be better like that as he slaps Flatro back to the grave. As a 2 versus 4 goes 1 versus 3. No bomb yet. Smoke to retrieve. Swansea very calculated about this, but Synopsy throws caution to the wind and charges. Doesn't want to let him start cooking up.
The reason teams like Bad News Eagles frustrate upper echelon teams is because their stubbornness to want to take fights, right? When they have number advantages and you think that players should just tuck in and play the numbers and trade off of each other, they'll just step out. Exactly like what you saw there, right? Because they know that mechanically speaking, they're very strong. And that's also subverting the expectation of your opponent, because at the higher tiers, most people play by a similar scenario.
Percentages.
Yeah, up until that break point of, oh, a play needs to be made now, whereas Bad News Eagles will do that more often than not. So it's fun, always fun to watch, and we've definitely had a very fun half.
There's a Nico warp off the spawn, and he does have a pot shot, but Monacy gets nothing from it. See, Scenari retrieves. Molly forces Flatros for the all-in on Cave to maintain.
Could have done that with an AK, couldn't he? You know, we always know it's a bit of a curse to get that in the hands of Nico, that weapon.
He's been doing fine without it.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I would hedge and say that anything he can do with the AWP, he can do with an AK headshot.
Watch him prove us wrong right here, right now, but Ron is still mid-side, elbow. Utah forces GX.
Oh, he might himself. Yeah.
That's a cappuccino.
Yeah, the wrong thing on the quick change.
That is a
yikers.
PA Chino.
Oh dear.
I've never seen that before.
I have.
Yeah?
Mirage window.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh dear.
Oh. It was a nice advantage. You take down Monacy first.
25 seconds, last round of the half.
Yeah.
Looking has to be an A finish now. 2 bodies on the site, so 5 possible.
Yeah, I mean, Flatro's definitely making sure Rigon and Scenari know it's coming. He's cleared it through. And from Brokey, he needs to get a double right here. Go on, Rigon. It's Scenari. It's actually Scenari that's done it enough to secure a 5th. Just like that, the Eagles, they do recover around, and it's a competitive half. You got a trifle with G2, and we will take a quick break before we swap sides. The Eagles up against the All-Stars. G2, 10 as they take to the defense. We got bad news, Eagles boasting 5 onto the attack of Ancient. And we can remind you of what Nico's been up to. It's been m0NESY, it's been Nico. And this was a magnificent couple of shots from m0NESY, of course, but it's most importantly that Nico has ended the half on 21-7.
Yeah, he's had an awfully good day at the office as far as Ancient is concerned. I think Nuke, their opening match against Vitality, didn't go the way they'd hoped, but they can right the ship and go 1-1 going into day 2 of the Legend stage tomorrow with just 6 more rounds. And well, the Desk prefaced it, they thought this was going to be quite easy for G2, and that first half has definitely backed up their expectations here. That was the T half. Now they get to be on the defensive side of things. Let's see if they can kick it off with, well, exchanges of pistols. We are ready to get this one underway. Bad News Eagles in the scrappier moments put on a show with their individuals.
Wow, they got 4 here. And 3 from the Eagles. Make it 2. m0NESY already gets 1. Rigon gone. That P250 gets him nowhere, but look at that from HooXi. He's gone for more. He's not done. He wants to finish it here in middle as GXX is cut down. No bomb, and only Suneri. Perhaps quick on this from Donut's going to catch him off guard. They're starting to work it out. HooXi's going looking and gets a face full of that Glock. Upgrades to the USP. Suneri, highest performer so far in this game up against G2. 14 and counting. JKS has the bomb under his grasp, so Nico doesn't really need to do too much. And that's his, opportunity. Goes awry. Nico doesn't need to overstep, but there is still 60 seconds, and that might come back to haunt him if JKS gets run out. Switches back, finds a P250, and beheads JKS. So now, yes, indeed, it does. As a 1v3 goes 1-on-1.
Nico's already ahead of him, way ahead of him.
How is he so aware? He's worked it out. He's taken a gamble. A good read of the situation. Now he's right behind him. Does he clear his cave?
He didn't see him.
He doesn't clear it.
He didn't see him. Walking past each other like ships in a night. Suneri's going to get a free bomb site, a free plant, and the world will be his oyster right here on Ancient. He can set up wherever he wants in this post plant. And Nico, the penny's only going to drop these in the wrong place in a moment's time. He still thinks it's A. He's not hearing the tick, and now the team has confirmed it, and now he's chasing ghosts.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's going to be very audible. All Suneri has to do now is one more. And that is what they needed. Up against some of the best. Suneri takes 3. All alone, and it was a must-win pistol as well.
What a massive round from Suneri. This is the first. HooXi's just looking for information. Where could he possibly be? And then JKS playing it passive. He is playing for info. Nico's already had a chance to finish Suneri in the back, but couldn't connect the dots. And can you believe it? If he had just glanced towards the cave, you would have seen him. But outplayed, and he didn't know it. Suneri grabs the second pistol for Bad News Eagles. That is going to feel good.
Can they hold on to this, Chad? They're already going to go for an aggressive A main push, so that info's going to be clear that no one's holding. As m0NESY and JKS have got that set up, they will investigate quickly. 3 can lean B. They leave mid wide open. Rigon perhaps someone to come back to, but
good block, right? A main called clear, block the top of the ramp. It buys time for this m0NESY rotation. Middle is a mystery, sure, but it's going to give time for this gamble to come to fruition. If m0NESY can cover red, it means that everybody, HooXi, Hunter, Nico, can focus on the ramp and cave. Fight, apparently.
Upon the fade, 1, and it's easy for Flatro. Takes down HooXi, looking for more. The flash ain't bad, looking for the headshot. It's hard to finish, and Nico pays the ultimate price. Suneri again with the multi.
I know m0NESY's here because of the flash.
And he can't hit the first. It's all Suneri, baby. He started off with a bang here on the T side. Back-to-back triples. So impactful.
Yeah, and this here is a full eco for G2 coming up. So there's only going to become a 3-round game. So really good stuff off the back of some high-flying rounds, some individual impact. And it looks good for G2 in that force by... Oh, GXX, he's not going to clear this, I don't think. So JKS, if he... Oh, hold up. JKS just donated some utility. He might actually come and clear this now. Yeah, he does. So jumps into the MP9. That means JKS is now noted, swings out and cannot get the second. A good hunt. Rigon staying alive. So, yeah, really, really nice round.
Good vibes. The good vibe tribe of BNE. And thank you, Suneri. I mean, that is the name we are going to be singing to high heavens at 19. He's actually catching Nico right now with a very dreamy start on this attack.
Well, throughout the best of ones, throughout the challenger stage here at the Blast TV Major, and well, today, which has got the majority of the best of ones remaining, we're talking about winning pistols and winning clutches being factors to get you across the line in best of ones. Well, Bad News Eagles won both pistols, and they've won a couple of clutches.
One of them with a clutch.
Conversion in the first half didn't exist, right? It was the Force by Wars back and forth, but conversion here has. So they are starting to put a few things in the column to success as Flatro, sleeves rolled up and rolls out two as there's just one more to find over towards Donut. Very good idea that JKS is here. I think, and Hooksy is dead as, yeah, JKS not long for this world. Didn't even get to use his smoke.
It's a shame.
Well, they do say smoking kills, so either way, he is dead like a doorknob, and we are about to get into the gun rounds. So, Monacy has been doing a decent haul with the AWP. I'm sure he's going to whip that out going into this first gun round.
No more time. I mean, obviously not, but you haven't seen the need for a timeout after that kind of pep talk out of Devil Walk. They're really kind of rolling into the second half nicely. It's time for the next test. Monacy will whip it out, as will GX. So the biggest gun out in about. We'll see if there's going to be any early clashes. Is look at this. Four dispatched towards A, and no one in Donut to hear this.
No one in A at all. No one can even respond to this quickly. The odds still favoring G2, sure, but that might change very soon. The late deployment of smokes means even if they respond here, there's not an awful lot they can do about it. There is a kit on Hooksy. There are smokes available for this retake here, but it will be 5-on-5.
And Synopsy's still going for this late lurk through B.
Damn, all the way around the world. This won't be accounted for, especially not with the position in Eco.
This is brutal.
Yeah, oh dear.
Like even if you kill, well, I was gonna say GXX, but no, not to be. He's already hit one.
They're not saving either.
Nope, not Monacy and Hooksy though. That's gonna be a lovely amount of damage. Okay, Messy on the spray. Monacy forced forward by the flames. He needs to hit this one. He's burning down solo and finished by Flatro. G2 are in trouble. Like, make no mistake, this is a round that will really hurt, especially as you lose every single gun. I say it as Nico does bring one through, but still, in terms of first gun rounds, it couldn't have gone better.
Yeah, and we spoke about conditioning in the macro game from G2 in the first half and that A site. Well, the same thing here for Bad News Eagles, and they waltz in for free. G2 have called to go for a 3-2 start, leaving A completely open, and that's fine. That's understandable. You can definitely do a maneuver like that, but if you lose A, you need to have something up your sleeve, a retake, something that is discussed, and they weren't ready for that at all. So shell-shocked are G2 by that move, and now they need to hope and pray that Nico and this M4A4 can find something in this light investment rounds here, because Bad News Eagles could tie thing up. Lickety split.
Yeah, right here, right now. Jumping up, full access through middle.
Oh, they are so worried about a B push. Look at all these nades. They've just flashed, double mollied, HE'd. Oh!
And Orcs. Nico boosted up and they get nothing from it. Frustrating death. And more to be handed their way. Look at the damage inflicted. Wriggle onto Hooksy. Monacy is well cut down, and this is perfect.
At least G2 had the good graces of the force buy situation in the first half. Here they just have a flat start. It's going to be 5-0. We're talking 7 consecutive because Bad News Eagles picked up the final 2 rounds of that first half. And it is tied up now, so really good shift of momentum here for the Bad News Eagles. What was looking like a done and dusted game is well and truly on. I was like, oh, they must be expecting a push, but wow, okay.
Great shot.
A little flicky there from GXX. So a moment to react. It reacts perfectly. And if everybody at home wants to react to an unsettling scoreline, go check out that secondary stream between FaZe and Into the Breach right now.
Okay.
Still early days.
It's early days, but it's at... Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. So there's excitement for...
You shouldn't have told me, Chad. I've got to cast this game.
Could you imagine if FaZe and G2 are both 0-2?
Stop. Okay, now it makes me even more...
I don't even know what the possibilities of matching up are. I'm going to go and take a little bit of a look at that while we get a Swanee timeout, the first from G2. That tells you how well things have been going.
Alles nicht so gut.
Oh dear. Oh no, wait, I'm one round ahead of myself, everybody. Take that oh dear back and you can put it in your pockets.
All right. All right. Well, we've got to focus on what's in front of us, and right now it is probably more of the same in terms of, not in terms of BNE guaranteed to win all the rounds, but in terms of the taste and flavor of this ancient. BNE, they definitely have come in reinvigorated into the second half as we get ready to see if they can be put down a peg.
I see the way that G2 have to start this round. JKS A and Hunter and Hooksy mid only 2B, and their lion's share of the forces are going B fast.
Right call. It's the perfect call, and that's a nice result. Monacy onto Rigon, but there's more where that came from. More util to try and get Scenarii out, and he will. But Synopsy...
But look how quick they're rotating back. So they were stopped, and now they're straight back to A.
Yeah, and it's like G2 don't have answers yet. So this is that window where
on his own.
JKS needs this frag.
Oh no! What a shot!
Oh, Synopsy, he got caught out completely.
That's naughty.
First on the flick, and into A. Eagles soaring.
They've got the advantage here. They've got 3 players on the site. Hooksy can't stop the plant. He can't do anything about it. Scenarii has the rotation cut off.
And Hunter's not going to be ready for Scenarii. He's taking it really nice on the jiggles. He looked away. Now it can be that late arrival. He's got Nico dead. If he doesn't even consider it, has a look and loses his head. Hunter's gone.
They have to save. It's a number disadvantage. You're going to try and retake A?
No.
I think they are.
Synopsy's close. He already got him in, and it's him and Flatro combined to try and make sure G2 don't get out. Trying to hold on to what they can. This time there is a chance for an exit with their rifles at the bare minimum, but BNE are about to take the lead.
That pace on that B play drew a heavy rotation because they started 2-2-1, right? And JK stayed on his own. And the time of the killer was essentially a 1-on-1. He has to hit that one, but Synopsy, I'm sure we're going to get it in the replay.
Yeah.
That was a banger of a shot right there. A round-defining shot. Massive stuff. G2, G-Who, check this one out. Steps out, time to adjust. JK shooting first, doesn't matter, and that's the site completely conceded.
Okay.
So at this point, this is momentum-based calling, right? Go A on that first gun round, just get a free site because of the setup G2 had. Second round, try and go B because you're expecting them to be heavier mid or A. It doesn't work, but immediately rotate back. I don't think I've seen something as crazy, especially with the rotation time on a map like Ancient, and then just waltz into the opposite side. You were going to go B fast.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, lovely pivot, but a very different round if JKS gets that and has that
100%.
Has that 10-second window to be somewhere else.
100%. But right now, G2 are chasing tails, right? They don't know what's going to be called next because this is like rhythmic from Bad News Eagles. So they get into the next gun round or even this round here, which, yeah, the purchases look like they have been made. So this is the next gun round. G2, what are you ready for? Are you expecting a standard default? You said that you're expecting something with a bit more pace behind it. What is the Bad News Eagles opener here? Well, this is a little bit more default, mid-pressure. Synopsy's out, wants to make it towards the Tetris box, and ooh, he is very flat. Rigon still gets the first, Hunter gets one back, needs the second, and does.
Oh, yeah.
Recovered.
But no bomb spotted. Information that there is action B. Monacy and Hunter not going to be moving anywhere fast. You've got yourself a man advantage. Scenarii's fired off a couple of shots, forcing the reaction out of Nico as he does have the chance onto the AWP and won't get the second, but extends for G2. It's forced a rotation and they are very loud about this. Hooksy will be able to relay this information quick. Monacy and Hunter to pivot.
Playing him like a fiddle. Lucky Hooksy heard this. If he wasn't in cave to hear those steps, they would have just bit down on B.
Monacy's in the right time, just in time for the AWP shot. Bomb spotted, flat throw as well. And Hunter should be primed and ready. Okay, tied back up, but that's G2's first on this CT side.
I feel if they lost that round because they got outmaneuvered yet again, they would have been cooked.
Yeah.
Like, they would have been beyond well done. Would have been charred to the brain. And this is important as well that Hunter grabs that kill onto Rigon, because if he gets away, who knows how things start to unfold here. And this is after that massive Nico first half. But look, you can't do it all on that CT side, especially if they're not just coming to your side, especially if they're just rotating around you here. Now we're going to go to a 3-2 split of the attack. Monacy's all posted up over towards A. JKS and Hunter responsible for mid, and Hunter responsible for an awful lot here. A bit of microaggression.
He's worried about everything and gets nothing done.
He knew he was there because of the spam.
No support. No, they really are already limping, considering Nico's HP as well.
I don't even know what that was. There was nobody else who could follow through to help out Hunter there. I feel like he was doubting that there was even too much towards B until the spam came through. And Rigon's making noise, which just means Monacy's now communicating. The rotation, just look at the radar. That's all you need to focus on right now.
Oh, Monacy. The shot's pulled out of his barrel by Rigon, and now they're just immediately eloping into Nico's sight. He's only got 30 HP, Chad. He can't be expected to get anything done. And they're just bulldozing their way into these sites. JKS has done well to catch the A-lurk, but it's more for survival than it is victory.
Yeah, it's already called off the save after Hooksy gets legged there. Oh, nice moves from Synopsy. That's 12. Bad News Eagles are in the lead.
Yeah, and for the second time now, of course, after finding 11 first, they took that for the first time and now return to it.
Yeah, getting shell-shocked here, aren't we? I think with results on both of the streams, look how easy this is. Like, Hunter had already doubted that there was anybody B lane. The spam comes in, he goes, oh, well, I guess I'm committing to this fight. There was nobody that could help him. I think that's because they wanted to clear B lane to know if it was definitely going to be B. But when Hunter mantled up and didn't see anything, his brain told him no, and we have a lot of age. So immediately turning around. And it's just that 1 second of lag, which made him doubt himself and then lose that exchange. And the ramifications of that are starting to mount and become more and more dramatic here. Now, the save guns are great. The drops will come through. But you've got to start winning some rounds. Third time out now, and this is Devilwalk who's called this. He knows what type of situation they're in. You win a rifle round and you take everything away. You're putting yourself in a very good position to close this quite swiftly here.
Very interesting dialogue between Devilwalk and Rigon. He almost...
Well, let me look at Rigon's spawn. Maybe that has something to do with it here. No, Rigon doesn't have a good spawn towards middle, but he has a good spawn towards B. So if he wanted to just run straight up B ramp, which we've already seen him do...
Did they just take two back-to-back, or am I tripping?
No, Rigon was just relaying whatever he was thinking to the rest, because Devilwalk has to do it in English. Yeah. So then they're going to go with the rest probably in the native tongue, and we work out what happens once we go live in 5 seconds from now.
God, they got some pretty good cash after all of this as well, with such a consecutive run and with people alive.
It's A. It's A. They're just going to punish that A side.
Monacy starts there.
With JKS. This is a car crash waiting to happen.
Here it comes.
Not a rush. It's not a rush. It's a little bit slower.
Here it comes. This is a good setup. JKS. Headshots required from both of them. Rigon forces Monacy into a defensive stance as he dumps his incendiary and looks to reposition. Confirmation there was a second there.
But normally when Bad News Eagles have taken contact on this T side, they've had somebody on the other side of the map to start looking for a pick. This was a full-on pack roll, so they're just going to have to worm together here, and now they slink out mid.
Wide open. No information for G2. They've just disappeared. Could be heading to B. Could be crawling through mid. And they have two slinking into Jaguar. Monacy could be perfect for it. Does take down the bomb. Awkward to retrieve. GXX has to fight his way out of this. Because that's good util, but action to B as well. Oh, this is so uncomfortable for G2. Even though they have the man advantage, they are coming B. They go for deep clear. Who's responsible? Hooksy does deliver onto Rigon. And Synopsy caught by Nico.
They're so fortunate that it was just full contact there. Like, there could have been so many different ways that round just, like, slowly falls apart.
Okay, I'm glad you're saying that, because I was nervous in a 3v4.
They conceded so much space, but the Bad News Eagles had decided, for whatever reason, in this round, everything they wanted to do was contact-based, right? Yeah. Everything they wanted to do in that round was contact-based. So this is why they're crossing mid dry without any utility, like a late red smoke and a Hail Mary. Sure. It wasn't pieced together. It was, let's just hope that we can continue to run rings around them, because these rotations from G2 have been wrong, right? They've bitten down very hard.
Straight back in. Important round of Counter-Strike, round 25 in this best of one. The first day of the Legends stage, and one of these two teams is going 0-2. 12-12. After 10-5 half, this T side is definitely high flying from the Eagles. Flatro versus Nico. He doesn't seem aware. I think the molly may have lulled him into this false sense of security as to...
I think you're right.
Flatro's position.
You can't make any assumptions against the Eagles.
You really cannot. They do have a cheeky way with it. Baited by the shadow. Everyone's doing it right. Synopsy confirms presence and vision from their opponent on this ramp side. And Teneri, is he just going to walk away? Gets caught out. Big frag from Nico. Potential. They could overlook Flatro. And JKS finds himself with a lot to do again.
At least he's an early canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, but it's Synopsy again. Let's not forget he hit one bangarang on Justin. Can he do it twice? Not this time, says JKS and GXX. Hang on, where did that come from? Rigon, he wriggled through mid, caught two. Now Nico doesn't have the help for this. It falls away. It wasn't Justin after all, it was Rigon. A triple. And again, the Eagles, they pick up 13. Oh, G2 are going to be scratching their heads. It's all going wrong. They can't quite understand it.
Well, we saw Rigon with the red space, but you don't expect a double up here. So how does the... Okay.
Oh, it's just...
Yeah, and they were ready for him too. Beautiful from Rigon here, controlling the rotations, marooned on his own. JKS, sure, he gets that kill and dies, but they have to get to him, and Nico can't believe what's going on, but they didn't have any real estate.
Oh, Devilwalk's trying to contain his excitement. He can feel it. That same Eagles energy. It's definitely here in Paris. Your name, your organization's brand, it means nothing to the Eagles. They're here doing it their way.
Wow, okay, well, G2 can afford another buy here, sure. They've only managed 2 rounds in this second half of play, nothing consecutive, and it's only started to heat up in the last 4. Otherwise, it was a screamer of a start from Bad News Eagles. It was great. They were shouting from the rooftops. Couldn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, considering they won the pistol then lost the force immediately, you sit there and go, they got 5. Can G2 muster 5 of their own?
I feel like G2 is still reeling from that early A loss. Think about how many times Monasty's been over that. Hunter, they're above you. They're above you, boys. You got to hit a shot right now because Bad News Eagles are not missing.
Okay, it gets worse. They've lost it. Nico already burned to a cinder as well. There is so few options available to the remaining 3.
They may have actually lost it, like as it being the game. Unless, unless Rigon happens again. It's 2,900 loss bonus into the next. It's not enough for a buy. You win this, no guns are saved. Maybe that's 15 for Bad News Eagles. Maybe that's enough.
But this is a 0-1 matchup. This is...
Just falling into row, ducks in a row. Into line, every single kill, they step out, they're dead. G2 are not in control of the tempo of this game.
At all.
Bad News Eagles have full control. They have wrangled control with this amazing second half start. And you heard from Maui on the desk talking about that game down in the Challenger in Melbourne, talking about the fact against Greyhound, he thought Greyhound choked. Well, Bad News Eagles are playing very well now. I don't know if G2 are choking. They are just getting suffocated, getting dismantled, peeled apart.
The Eagles didn't need a Challenger stage to come in as they are. And they know what it means. I mean, every single reaction we see there, you've got to keep a stiff upper lip. You don't want to put all your chips into this one. So you're almost playing for overtime.
You are, yeah, you are indeed. And this is a team that didn't know what losing felt like from the Challenger stage. Now that's the only thing they've tasted in the Legends.
This is mad. This is Bad News Eagles. Oh, okay, Nico caught off again. It just so falling into place for Flatro this time. On the aggressor, nice headshot. Hooksy and Hunter want to regain control, but they might lose it all in that engagement. JKS cut down by Rigon, and G2, they are being thrown through a loop. They're sending Rigon out. He's going to call A's wide open, and then they can just chill. They might even find the frag here onto Hunter anyway. So yeah, it's just Monacy with a 5-7. And he wants to try and get some answers. I like that he's hedged towards mid. He might be able to respond to both of those bomb sites, but it is B. As he leans A. Yeah, that's 15, folks. G2, on day 1 of play, are going to be 1 round away from being condemned. They're finding, and we were talking about it before, Chad, we said, you know, any team cannot expect realistically to run 3 best-of-3s back-to-back.
Especially one of the big 5, right? Coming into this tournament here, you're looking at favorites for the event. You've got your FaZe clans, you've got your Heroics, your Na'Vis, your G2s, your Vitalities. Those are the names that are in the mix right here. And a few more have definitely notched their name and made a bit of a mark. We do have...
Like this, for example.
Yeah, right? And look, it looked a whole lot bleaker a couple of rounds ago, so FaZe are at least salvaging this. Can the same conversation be had for G2? They need to get 3 consecutive rounds to take this game into overtime. And if they don't believe now, they're not going to believe at all. Devilwalk with another tactical timeout, and you couldn't be more precise with the naming when Devilwalk's on the mic. Save this one for the perfect moment, the uppercut to lay G2 out on their backs, to make them have a difficult night of rest, going into what would need to be 3 consecutive best of 3s just to sneak through to those playoffs. That's going to be hard fought. And remember the heroics. NiKo in the first half, 21 kills. He's only had 7 in the second. And whether that's fault of his own of certain positions or being outmaneuvered, I think the game, the calling from Bad News Eagles and some of the shots their individuals hit. Scenari's 1-on-3 on the pistol. Let you forget that one.
Yeah, goodness me. This is spooky. NiKo's mad, and NiKo does take down Scenari. Forces to, a bit of humility into Rigon, but he actually takes the fight.
Can't do it alone. Might be enough to get them 13, sure, but he can't win them 3 consecutive rounds alone.
No. Certainly an unrealistic expectation, but I mean, that is NiKo feeling like he has to do it all. And he has for round 28. A double kill on 2 very different sides of the map. It puts BNE into an uncomfortable position, which is not something I've said often in the second half.
No, they are given a lot of room here to get into B. You can see this passive setup NiKo and HooXi have again. We've already seen this play out once before, and it actually worked out for them. If the bomb goes down and they grab a pick on the way in, Bad News Eagles could still do it here in round number 28.
Would you like me to go?
He's going to be cleared by the AWP, and he does still hit the shot. It does so much for the boys, and it's Hunter that will just put the 3 on top. 1 of their 3 tests ahead of them to take this to overtime.
Okay, well,
just make sure you give Sam.
They passed this thanks to the good graces of NiKo, who has done a lot in this game. It has to be said.
Wow.
An ace in the first half. He was on point with his aim, which is classic for NiKo, and has recovered from that first series where nobody really showed up. But NiKo, you can see he is trying to will his team into the game. They need to show up for him here. If your superstar's online, this is where you guys need to take advantage of it, because it's not guaranteed every game.
31. And we're off to round 29. Is NiKo really going to try his luck again? This time a bit more subdued. GXX, he's pushed past NiKo, caught out. Thought he had a gap. And it's the AWP as well. The wallbang comes through. Oh dear. G2 hold their breath. The Kovac cousins hold their breath as they're forced to watch as they could be condemned in 3 more frags to that 0-2 in the Legends stage. A major discussion to be had for G2. Synopsy, okay, some answers given by JKS. They tried to test the waters at A, and Rigon slipped past the gap in mid. It is wide open. He's done this once, and he might very well do it again. m0NESY has to acknowledge his potential. He makes it clear. He's smoked CT, and it covers both, actually. Can jump across as well. Geeky with Rigon. They want to test JKS, and he's doing so much work. Another onto GXX. Change of plans, 40 seconds. Scenari, he spots 1. Knows HooXi's cave side. Bombs go in A. JKS will hear it. m0NESY, he's been really struggling to contribute because Rigon's got that rotate on lock. Good nade. Good idea. Didn't finish it. Didn't finish it. Could still do it. Needs to reload. m0NESY to join him. It all hangs in the balance here for G2. The Eagles, it looks like they might very well be taking a huge scalp. G2 running out of options, that clock ticks, and with every second condemns them to a loss of sleep and a loss of the game. The Eagles, from 10-5 down, take down